Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. In this video presentation, we will be sharing about our drama lesson plan, and this will be explained by me, Aina Zira, Afifa and Amelina. Now, let's get right into it. So for this lesson plan, we have decided to teach Form 2, and the theme is health and environment. The topic is it's about writing a poem, and focus skill is literature in action. For content standards, they have to express imaginative response to literary text. And for learning standards, they have to respond imaginatively and intelligibly through creating poems, board game puzzles, and quizzes, or other imaginative responses. And for main focus skills, it's literature in action. So, the drama techniques that we have chosen is poetry recitation. And this drama techniques is chosen because we believe that it provides a variety of benefits to the students and teachers as well as it is easy to apply in the classroom. And we believe in creating a relaxed but exciting classroom activities to feed students' curiosity of poetry and literature while accelerating literacy development and oral language skills. So aligned with our aim, this lesson plan for poetry recitation is to emphasize on pronunciation and intonation, and students are also given the opportunity to generate personal interpretations. Now for the teaching materials. The lesson plan is intended to be used with a poem from the book Poetry for Pleasure by Sadler and Hayler, which is Poison Talk. So we have also provided a Google Slides link that contain pictures related to this poem for the teacher to use to show the students. And teachers also need to give out worksheets and mahjong paper. So the purpose of this slide is because in the poem Poison Talk, there are some usage of animal names that could probably be unfamiliar to the students. Hence, we thought of providing pictures in advance so the teachers doesn't have to go through the hardship of searching and compiling the pictures. And this can cut down some preparation times. And the slides can be shown using a projector in the language lab. But for schools that have problems or are not equipped with a projector, these slides can be printed easily as we made it compatible to be printed in A4 size paper, whether it is printed with colors or not. Now, as for the activities, we have created two worksheets for students, and in the first activity, they will be given a worksheet of 10 comprehension questions of the poem Poison Talk, and they have to answer it individually. Then, in activity 2, they have to get in group. So the second worksheet is where they can be creative by creating a poem using similar structure as Poison Talk, and it has to be based on themes that will be given by teacher. Then, together with their group mates, they will recite their poems aloud with correct pronunciation and intonation. As a post-lesson, the teacher gives the students mahjong papers for each groups that they are in the previous activities, and they have to work on the poem by writing them down on the mahjong papers and then decorate them as creative as they want, then put them up on the classroom walls, and this can be done outside of the class hours.
Alright, now I will explain the classroom setting and also the seating arrangement. For this activity, it is best to be carried out in a language lab. This is because in a language lab, students have bigger area and bigger space to move around for discussions. The students also can do presentation in a comfortable environment. However, not every school were equipped with language lab, right? So, if a language lab is not available, this activity can also be carried out in the classroom with some arrangement of student seating. We would like to suggest a suitable classroom layout. It is best if the arrangement of sitting is 4 to 5 students in groups for the discussion. This will help the student to discuss the task easier. Plus, in this sitting arrangement, students will get to focus better in the discussion because the students are like sitting in a circle in their own island and surrounded by members who are striving for the same mission, which is to finish the task. While for the poetry recitation session, we suggest that students can form a big circle in the class and each group can recite the poem at the center of the class. The other alternative for the student to do the poetry recitation session is by arranging the student into U-shaped sitting, and the presenter will present at the middle. However, if both of the suggestion layout is not practicable, the students can just recite the poem at the front of the class.
Thank you, Afifa. Hello everyone, it's Emelina and I'll share with you on how we adjust our activity to fit the students' levels of proficiency. As mentioned in the previous parts, we are to include poetry recitation in our lesson development as the main activity. So we conduct an activity where in groups, students are to create poems based on the assigned themes and by taking the poem Poison Talk by Raymond Wilson as a reference. Here's the poem, page 42 and 43. It's a simple poem like question and then answers, statements, question and then statements. Okay. Of course, we need to make sure the activity is adjustable and can be fit into all types of students. By types here, it means their levels of proficiency, either beginner, intermediate or advanced level. That is why we come up with a worksheet for teachers to refer to, Appendix 3, Worksheet B, Teachers Edition. It is just a simple manual worksheet for the teachers where we prepare a table of themes to choose from based on the levels of proficiency. Thus, while assigning themes to the groups, teachers can refer to it to help in assigning themes for the students in accordance to their levels of proficiency. A bit of a strategy here, where if a group consists of a mixture of beginner and intermediate level students, it is best to assign the group a theme from the intermediate level box. This will ensure a great teamwork from the students as they have to help each other out in order to complete the task. However, let us say out of 6 students in a group, only 1 student is from the intermediate level of proficiency. Then, it would be best if the theme assigned for that group is from the beginner box. By doing so, we can avoid putting burdens on that one particular student. Apart from that, while conducting the activities, teachers are to practice scaffolding in which we add supports for the students in order to enhance their learning as well as to aid in the mastery of the task. Now, how to go about this? First of all, upon assigning themes to the groups, make sure to explain the themes assigned in a brief yet clear manner to the whole class. Making the information short but full of input will help in making sure students are giving their full attention throughout the class hour, as well as to avoid them from getting bored or distracted. Next, while the activity is ongoing, teachers can walk around the groups to see how they are progressing with their poems and let the students know that they can always raise their hands to ask for help. Last but not least, since we are incorporating poetry recitation, it is important to get the students to recite the poems with correct pronunciation and intonation. Hence, upon the poetry recitation session, teachers are to assist and correct the students' pronunciation and intonation. Nonetheless, to not make any interruptions and killing the students' confidence, say one group is reciting their poem now, let them finish reciting first. During their first recitation, take notes on their mispronunciation of words, inaccurate intonation, and so on. After they finish reciting, teachers can give feedback on what they can improve, either generally or specifically, which one suits the situation better. Then, they can recite their poem again and this time in hope that it will be better from their previous recitation. Above all, we try our best to make sure the activity is adjustable and can fit all levels of proficiency of the students. We also prepare some teaching materials to help smoothen the lesson and to give the students full learning experience with the help of pictures, worldwide issues, and exposing them to familiar as well as unfamiliar themes. We hope that our activity would be entertaining enough for the students as well as applicable and relevant for the teachers to execute and conduct. That's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, to conclude, we really think that the drama technique poetry recitation is very interesting and is an effective way to carry out a lesson, especially if the lesson is to give exposure to students regarding poems. This technique is very suitable especially for beginners learner. This is because the beginner students will have an example of a poem for them to refer to on elements such as the format and structure in order to start writing their own poem. The students will also have group members to discuss opinions or anything that they are not familiar with. Not just that, in this activity, there are also teachers that can assist them in completing the task. The students are able to ask for help easily since the help is around them. In addition, this lesson plan is easy to carry out because the preparation will not take much time and effort since the materials are just a textbook and a simple yet practical worksheet for students to complete, just these two materials. There are so many advantages by carrying out this activity, which are the students will get to have two-way interaction by discussing the task with their friends. Students can express opinions during the discussions. Students are also able to illustrate their creativity in the process of coming out with the poem, and students get to improve their confidence because they are required to recite their poems in the front of the whole class. Hence, this activity allows students to experience a very meaningful learning throughout the lesson, as well as gaining some benefits out of it. I think that's all from us. We really hope that you gain something from our video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
That's all from us. Thank you for listening.